and business coach based in Hawaii、この動画では英語上級者の皆さんが英語発音を上達させる近道を紹介していきます。で、その前に、無料で動画を公開していますので、英語上級者のための発音の3つのポイントを知りたいという方は、ぜひ概要欄の方に行って、その動画をチェックしてくださいね。本当にそろそろこの無料公開っていうのを、終わらせる予定ですので、なるべく早めにこの無料で、公開しているうちにこの動画を見てくださいね。Alright, so today's topic is about how you can improve faster, how you can improve your English pronunciation faster if you are an advanced English learner. So I always talk about this in my group coaching or in my material, but if you are an advanced English learner, you want to slow down a lot because your level is really high now, and what you want to do is to start working on the small details. And in order to work on small details, you need to slow down because as long as you're speaking really fast, you can't really pay attention to all the details, right? Because you're focusing on speaking faster. Yes, I get it. You're an advanced English learner, so you can speak fast, right? You may have learned pronunciation, you may have learned linking and reduction, and maybe you know all the rules about pronunciation, right? So you maybe focus on speaking faster, but if you do that though, you will hit the wall, which I did too. I hit the wall when I was speaking really fast. I was able to speak really fast like this, but at the same time, I felt that I was hitting the wall. Why? Because at that point, what I needed was to slow down. And then I did that. So I slowed down finally, and I was able to start working on my I was able to start working on the small details and also the breathing. So after that, my pronunciation became better, faster, because I slowed down. So this is what I recommend that you do. Slow down now because your level is really high already. And once you slow down, and you can work on the small details. So this is what I usually tell my clients. So when you work on your pronunciation, you want to work on creating a really defined form in your voice. So when you look at the spectrogram, by the way, you can look at the spectrogram by recording your voice. You can also search on Google, just search spectrogram. Spectrogram. And then when you see that, you can see the lines. And what I usually tell my clients is to have really long vowels, right? So in order to have a long vowel, you need to slow down, right? And then on the spectrogram, you will see the vowels with horizontal lines like this. If your pronunciation is really, really fast, you're not gonna get this type of defined vowel. So this is why I recommend that you slow down a lot. So when you have the vowel, you're not gonna see the box like this, though, when you look at the spectrogram, but just have the imagination like this. So imagine that your vowel is nice and long and really defined and very, very strong like this. And then think about that you have a very defined consonant at the beginning too. So it depends on the consonant, but let's say like you have some type of sound right here. So that's like S, right? S sound or whatever. But you want to make it nice and long, like S or F. or th, whatever that is, whatever the consonant is, but you want to have it very, very long and defined and strong, right? So at the beginning, you have a consonant, and then you want to make it very strong with a lot of air and a lot of vibration. And then make the vowel really strong and long and have another consonant. Usually, English words are made of like a consonant, vowel, and a consonant, right? So usually you will see this type of form all the time. And then you have another consonant at the end. So whatever that is, like maybe like this. It depends on the consonant. Like this, right? So you always have, you want to imagine that you always have this consonant, vowel, consonant form when you speak English, right? So if you keep speaking really fast, which it's gonna show like this, your vowel is really short and it's not so defined, and the consonants are really, really short, and then you just speak like that. When you know, if you have this type of voice, you're not going to be able to work on the small details like consonants and the vowels, right? So what you want to do is to slow down so that you will always have this type of defined form in your voice, in your pronunciation. And then you can start working on the consonants and the vowel one by one. As long as you're speaking really, really fast, like just like I am doing, I'm not going to be able to pay attention to my consonants and the vowels, right? No, right? So stop speaking like this, because if you keep speaking really fast, you're just gonna focus on speaking really fast, right? Yes, I get it. You learned the linking and the reduction. I get it because you already know that, right? But then when you start working on the details and breathing and making the structure in your English pronunciation, your voice will change and your listening skills will change, because that's what I experienced when I was speaking really fast and having this type of form before in my voice. I maybe understood 80% of what native speakers said. When they started speaking really fast, I understood maybe 80%, and then I thought that was my limit as a person who speaks English as a second language, right? So I thought that I couldn't improve my listening skills further. But when I slowed down finally, and that happened after 16 years of being in the US, I finally slowed down. And then I started focusing on air, vibration, and energy in my voice. And I started working on consonants and vowels. I started articulating more. I started enunciating each consonant and each vowel. And I stopped skipping any sound when I spoke. Then I started hearing more things. It was really funny because the sound was there, but for me, I couldn't hear those like really like subtle sounds before, like L and R. I didn't really hear the difference between L and R before. And after 16 years of being in the US, I finally slowed down, and I started hearing more sound in people's voices. So when I listen to native speakers now, I actually pretty much understand. Maybe 6 years ago, maybe I understood 80%, right? 80% is, which is not so bad, right? Because, when they were speaking really fast, I was able to keep up with the conversation. But still 80%, I had to cover the 20% that I didn't hear from the 80% that I heard, right? So it was like for me, I was putting the puzzle in my head when I was speaking really fast conversations, right? But now I can actually hear pretty much everything. So I wouldn't say 100%, but I would say maybe I understand 98% of what native English speakers say at very fast speed right now. And I do not have to put the puzzles together in my head anymore because I can hear all the sounds now clearly. And that became, that came from my own practice of English pronunciation. Slowed down and started enunciating each sound, and I stopped skipping any sound. So I'm gonna write down the points here, the 3 bullet points. So these tips will definitely help you to improve your English pronunciation and also the listening skills. So tip number 1, slow down. Right? Slow down a lot to the point where you feel uncomfortable. Like slow down like this. I want you to speak like this. Slow down a lot to the point you feel uncomfortable. You see this? すっごいゆっくり. So that means you're gonna have to slow down maybe 20 times more than the speed that you're speaking right now. Because when I tell my clients to slow down 20 times more, then they finally slow down. Like for example, okay, I just erased the thing, but I'm gonna write it down again. So let's say the English vowels are this long and Japanese vowels are this long. The difference is probably 2 to 3 times, right? Let's say this is 5, the length is 5, the Japanese vowel length would be 1.5 or something, so the difference is just 2 to 3 times, right? But when I tell my clients to slow down 3 times more, then they're not gonna slow down. Because they think like, oh, okay, yeah, I can just slow down a little bit, because I just said it 2 or 3 times, right? So they just feel like, okay, I'm just gonna slow down a little bit and that's gonna be enough. And that's not enough. Because when you are thinking that you're slowing down, but if you think that you need to slow down just a little bit, you're just gonna slow down like this. So the length is not gonna be 5, but it's more like 2. It becomes 2. Still, you have a big gap between here and there, from here to make the length that matches to the English sound, right? Does that make sense to you? If you don't know what I'm talking about, please put in the chat and ask. So my goal is to let my clients to have the vowels this long, right? But your pronunciation, your vowels are this long right now. So you want to stretch the vowels up to here. In order to get there, you really need to think that you are slowing down 20 times more. 20 times. The key word is 20 times. 20 times slower. Then you can finally slow down. Because if you think that, oh, I just need to slow down a little bit, your brain is not gonna let you slow down. you have to think that, oh, I need to slow down a lot more than how I speak now, right? And tip number 2 is to enunciate every single sound. Enunciate each sound. This is the tough one because if you're an advanced English learner, you probably learned that, oh, you don't really pronounce T at the end of what, you don't pronounce that, or you don't pronounce like great T at the end. The sound becomes soft. You learn all the rules, right, in linking and reduction. But when you do that, it's not going to be the same as native English speakers English, because they're not skipping any sound. So you really want to enunciate every single sound one by one. And the third point, do not skip any sound. Right. So when I started doing these 3 things, my English pronunciation changed a lot. So I will show you how I was speaking English before. Of course, I worked on breathing and all that, right? But then when I worked on these 3, my English pronunciation really changed. So this is how I used to speak. I'm gonna start speaking like how I used to speak, maybe up until like 6 years ago. できるかなできるかな Okay. So this is how I used to speak English before. See, my voice is really light and my English pronunciation is really, really fast, right? So I was speaking really fast and I was focusing on speaking really fast before because I could. I learned linking and reduction. I learned consonants and vowels. So I was rushing to speak the time, and people asked me to slow down, and people told me that, oh, your English is good. I was always told that, oh, you worked on your pronunciation a lot, right? And oh, I'm so proud of you. And I was so proud of my English too at that time because I was able to speak really fast like this. こんな話し方をしていました、6年前まで。日本人にとっては今の発音 So if you listen to my English like this, you feel like, oh, this person speaks English really well, right? って思うかもしれない。なんか、すごいペラペラに話せてすごいと思うかもしれない。でも、英語っぽくなかったし、Your English is good ってすっごい言われてたんですよね。So、上級者から、Oops, sorry。空気清浄機にぶつかっちゃった。ちょっと待ってくださいね。上級者からその上に行く時のサイン Your English is good が言われなくなる。Your accent is cuteが言われなくなる。これが上級者を抜けた後の状態になります。上級者の皆さんは多分これ見てる皆さんは Oh, your English is good 多分いつも言われてて、それでなんかこう喜んだりしてますよね。That was me 以前の私でこう自分が英語を話すたびに Oh, your accent is cute I love your accent とか多分言われると思うんです。That was me, right? 過去の私。で、これは何を言ってるかというと Your English is good って本当は何を言ってるかというとなんかこう一生懸命英語を話していてすごいですねって。だって日本人と会話してて日本人の人に日本語上手ですねって言います。それある意味インソルトですよね。そして Your accent is cute これ本当は何を言ってるかあなたのアクセントはこう目立ちますねってことその人の話を聞いてるときにアクセン トを聞いてるんです。あ、この人のアクセントすごい面白いなとか不思議だなとかそう思うから Your accent is cute っていうコメントが出てくるんですよね。Right? でもそこからそのレベルって多分英語上級者なんですよね。ここを抜けるとこのコメントは一切なくなる。皆さんの英語に対してのコメントが一切なくなるんですね。だからそれは私も経験しました。だから上級者レベルの人は Your English is good, Your accent is cute, or I love your accent ですごく言われると思う。英語上級者から次のレベルに行くと、ここのコメント、そもそも英語の話にならないです。So, do those three so that your level will go up, right? So, number one is to slow down a lot, and two, enunciate each sound, and three, don't skip any sound. この3つをやると、すっごい英語の音が伸びていくと思います。So let me know if you have any questions about this. And these steps are actually the ones that I took. And I really improved now. And no one really tells me that, oh, your English is good, or oh, I love your accent とか、もう本当に最近は言われないです。アメリカに住んでいても。So, try those three and let me know if you have any questions or let me know how they worked. And if you have any questions about pronunciation, please put in the comments. And I usually check the comment sections and I answer any questions if you have any. And just ask in the comment section. All right, so talk to you later. Bye.